Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Anastasia Podcast. We have everybody's favorite guest back on today,
Could you guess who?
Nat, and we have a really fun topic to cover today, and it's going to be about dreaming and doing and having those two things come together in marriage, business, and family life. So this is going to be kind of a questionnaire style thing because Matt and I are both dreamers, and that's something that really brought us together, and I think why dating was so fun and it was kind of so easy to always think about our futures together because
We had these unrealistic views of what we could have.
they're only unrealistic. They're only crazy until they come true. Then we're like geniuses and supernovas. So anyways, when it comes to our marriage and business, who is more of the dreamer and who is more of the doer? How does that dynamically work in our life?
We're both the dreamers, but I'm definitely more of a doer.
Mm-hmm.
You do things too, but
You definitely are a doer because something I always said when we were dating is, wow, this must be what positive parenting is like. Because anything you kind of set your mind to, you would just go out and do it. And I noticed very early on, there wasn't this inner dialogue with yourself of fighting yourself and not starting and wanting to start, but then getting in your own way. And I was really like, okay, one day when this was before I even thought about having kids with you, but I would think one day when I have kids, I want my kids to be like that. Because,
I love how you're giving my parents all the credit and I get none of it.
well, I mean,
It's not just all how they raised us. It's just I'm a really good guy.
okay, well, tell me about it.
I don't know. I can't tell you about it. It's just how it was me.
Well, tell me back. I say it's your parents because you always told me that anytime you wanted to do something, like surfing or snowboarding or whatever, your parents were always like, okay, well, earn the money, go get the stuff, and then you can go do it. And you were always very self-motivated to do that. You got into surfing on your own, but surfboards are, entry for all your, I don't want to say stupid because I don't want to diss any surfers out there, but I remember like all surfboards are over $1,000. It's not like a
Not
cheap
the one we
sport.
started with, but yeah.
Well, I'm sure there's a used market and stuff like that, but for a good 10 years of our relationship of the 13, it was always going to the surf shops when we're up in Maine and the sale ones are $1,000, and you're like, yep, that's just the cost of doing business with surfing.
I know how to pick them.
But anyways, give me more examples.
I don't know. I've always wanted things that I didn't have, and I always knew that there's a way to get things that you don't have, and in the meantime, the way you get it is by putting in hard work. So I would see something that I want, or not, it doesn't have to be all material things, but just I can picture myself having something or doing something, and I can see where I'm at now. I see there, and then I almost picture it as a problem to solve. How do you solve that, and how do I get there? And I try to break it down into small chunks and achieve goals and get anything.
Okay, I think something else that is worth saying, and in doing that is anytime you do something new, you kind of reinstill confidence in yourself and you're creating pathways in your brain and it starts to become kind of muscle memory of this is who I am, this is what I do. That definitely served you in your entire youth and adolescence because that is how you approached a lot of things versus me who I would start, stop, start, stop, start, stop.
Mm.
Because I would let fear get in the way or overwhelm get in the way. And that kind of became my pattern of how to approach doing. And doing has always come so easy to you, or that's what it looked like to me, even though physically doing something is not easy at all. But it's just you are naturally more inclined to not be fearful of the path up the mountain. I guess you're just like, okay, I better get started now.
I don't think it's totally fair to say that because there are times that I don't want to do things or I am fearful of it, but it's more of a conscious decision to overcome that and just go for it than to let it paralyze me.
Yeah, I feel like the biggest thing that we've ever done together in 13 years, the biggest doer thing was having a kid.
We're still not done with that, but yeah.
And I think because of just even mine and your ability to problem solve and okay, well, what's the next step? What's the next step in our brain? Not having like babies, everyone tries to be like, oh, try this and then try this. It doesn't matter because the baby's going to do whatever they want to do. So I think that was super hard too because we were so used to anytime we wanna do something that we don't know how to do, you just follow certain steps and you kind of figure it out along the way. And literally, babies are like, follow no steps.
It's new territory.
Avalanche down a mountain and somehow figure it out. No, you don't figure it out. You just make it to the bottom and you're like, "Oh my god,
I didn't die.
we survived." Yeah. How does that dynamic work in our life? Us both being dreamers and then you being more of a doer.
Um, so we both want to get things done, but every once in a while, you let me go push myself to go get something done while you be a little bit more realistic at home and taking care of the baby and the dog and things like that.
I think our family dynamic has shifted a lot. I think in 13 years, like, not even touching, like, the whole dreamer thing, but regarding doing, I feel like I don't wanna say I'm, like, on par with you because our lives are just so a little bit different, like, but from your perspective, like, I mean, I'm still terrible at posting anything that I film. The podcast is the one area that I'm shining in right now, and I'm just
But
getting
you
by,
have,
like, the seam of my
yeah,
pants.
you have come out of your comfort zone and you have pushed yourself and you try new things. It's usually like along in the very beginning, you need a good push to get going. And then every once in a while, you need a little like reminder that you can do this, you can keep going. It's not the end of the world. I know it's hard.
I'm even thinking about, like, but you and I are so different in a lot of ways that we approach things, and I'm even thinking about this room. Like, when we were redoing this room, you patched every imperfection on the wall, and then you would wait for it to dry, and then you'd sand it, and then you'd patch it again. Like, you made sure every surface was smooth, and I was like, literally looking at you, and I was like, I could not be bothered. Like, I don't care. I would just put a new coat of paint on. Yeah, obviously you fill like holes where like you hung pictures or whatever, but like you were really like you were making this room like we
Fix
were
some
building a
some
house
parts.
from scratch. Yeah, and that's the stuff where like and maybe it's just because you're so much of a doer that your entry baseline of like doing a good project is so far.
I don't even think it's that. I think that once you know what good looks like, you can't look at bad and be like find it acceptable. So once you've seen what you are capable of, and once you've seen what others are capable of, then you do it yourself. And if it's not up to that standard, I don't feel comfortable leaving my stamp of approval on something that I don't.
Yeah, but see,
Uh,
this is the ebb and the flow, or like the yin and the yang is a better term to say with marriage because this ties into like coast to cabin and doing projects for other people. And to me, it's like I remember when we were looking at flooring for this house and you wanted hand scraped engineered hardwoods. And I was like,
Still do.
this is our first home. This is not like a $500,000 home. This is not like
Well, this is a $500,000 home now.
yeah, I just felt like it was so unrealistic. Not unrealistic. It was just so unnecessary. Like, I feel like part of the importance of marriage and even our business relationship and our relationship is like talking things out because you like it's very easy for you to get carried away doing one more thing and one more thing to like make something better and better and better. And for me, it's not necessarily being like, let's take this um like easy, shoddy way out. It's like, is what we're doing necessary? Because you could always do a little more and a little more and a
Yeah.
little
You take a
more.
more practical look at things, and I take a look at what things could be. And then once I see what they could be, I can't get that out of my head.
Yeah,
I need
and
somebody to come in and
yeah, like the wife who's also like remembering like the other mile long to-do list of things that we have to do. And, maybe if we can just cross some things off our list, we can move on to the next things.
or we could spend forever perfecting one thing.
No. How do we keep each other balanced when one of us is dreaming big and the other is trying to be realistic?
You tell me.
I think just communication. Like we've had to do we're very good at communicating, but remembering to communicate through all different
And not
seasons.
getting mad at each other when it's time to communicate.
Yeah, well, you definitely like when I try to be a voice of reason, I feel like I should say, you like sometimes get angry and it's kind of like I'm trying to not like truly angry at me. You don't like raise your voice or lash
Yeah.
out
Frustrated.
because you don't like people telling you what to do, but I'm not trying to tell you what to do. I'm like, "Hey, is this worthy of like
And I'm like, who are you to question whether or not this is worthy?
yeah."
Sorry, sue me.
I also don't act crazy, and I know that certain dreams are for different seasons, and I have a pretty realistic, like, grasp on whatever season of life that we're in. and still being like super excited and hopeful for the future, but not being a
The
pain
dream
point.
used to dream a lot about Range Rovers, and I feel like I used some practicality, and I reeled you in a little bit, and I pointed out to you every time I saw them on a flatbed, all the times that they had issues and how
You
unreliable
probably
they
just
were,
didn't want to pay for one
and I
for
just
me.
reeled you right back in, and I got you back onto planet Earth, uh, to look for a more practical.
No, I'm talking about like business dreams, marriage dreams. Like it really is like what I'm looking for him to say here is when we have those conversations and I have to be the voice of reason, you do end up like you mull it over and then you're like, okay, because if we like if we get things done and get them done well, we can move on versus you don't have to be an absolute expert in everything. And I think something that you actually always struggle with is like your baseline is other people's like expert. And there's so many, what quote do I say to you all the time? There are so many people out there with less skill doing more than us simply because they just believe in themselves and they just go do it. And that doesn't, and we've like seen it. We've seen flipped homes that were like, oh my God. Like you walk the house and you see shoddy work is an understatement. But at the end of the day, they still got it done, and someone's going to buy that house. I'm not saying we would ever do that.
Yeah, that's well, I don't know, that maybe that's a personal issue of mine, but it's just like I said earlier, once I see what I'm capable of and what others are capable of and where the certain standards are, I feel like once I've reached a certain standard, I don't want to go back on that standard and do work below that level because I know I'm capable of more, and I can't in my brain. I have trouble shutting off and saying like, okay, that's good enough. Time to move on to the next thing because who's to judge what's good enough? In my mind, if I was the one judging it, it would never be good enough, and I'd keep doing it forever. I need somebody else to come in and say, like, "That's plenty good. Let's do the next thing."
Hmm.
That's why I'm so lucky to have married such a practical woman like you.
I hope I don't come across as a huge B word here. Maybe the wives get it. What's one challenge we've faced in Costa Cabin that's really showed how different our approaches are and how do we get through it? Well, I guess what we just said as a
That
scope.
that, and then in general, like, I believe that we could do so much more, even though we probably can't.
No, I
But
think
in my head, I just like, "Yeah,
no.
we could do that." And you keep me on track and remind me that I have another job that I work more than full-time hours at and a family and
Okay, let me break that down. Our different approaches is you want to say yes to any job opportunity. I am the one who's like, this doesn't work for our life because XYZ. I think we both enjoy the idea of like what Costa Cabin could be if that was our full time. And I think we'd both jump on the train a lot faster to a lot more opportunities that present themselves at the same time. Like I'm thinking specifically the project that was like a potential idea that was over the bridge. And it would have been in every single day over the bridge before you go into work. Like it was literally crazy. And the writing on the wall was like, absolutely not. Like they would make our quality of life horrible. And you were like, I can do it. And it was like a full gut job. And you like wanted to do it. And I'd be like,
yeah, I also just have a problem saying no in general.
well,
If somebody asked me, "Could you do this?" Well, yeah, of course I can do it. It's almost like,
people pleasing.
not even just a people pleasing, but like, if somebody asked it in like a way like, "Could you do that?" Like, "Well, yeah, no shit, I could do that. I could do anything."
Okay.
And then I have to like prove that I could do it.
And then you have said in the past that when it's like people who you know are kind of asking like, "Oh, could you help me out with this?" Like you kind of feel bad not saying yes because you see these people in passing all the time. And that's fair too. But I think what do you feel more like bad about seeing people who you potentially let down, throughout the week because you can't do a renovation at their house or your wife? Who's
Definitely
disappointed
my wife.
because and you see her every day, but she's disappointed because that's time away from our family, time away from our other goals, etcetera.
Yeah, the new focus is only on very rich clients with beautiful homes who have really, really high standards and really, really deep pockets.
No, the approach is just we're no longer you have to say that again, but not say really, really rich clients.
Very, very wealthy clients. So much more money than they know what to do with.
I think the new approach is just we discuss everything as a family, especially now that we have a kid, like
Mm,
what works because it's no longer like before overcommitting on projects affected our lives by like someone has to hang back and like hike the dog, make sure the dog gets his exercise, he's taken care of, and then do home chores, which in kind of bigger projects that we've done, it is more you, like, because you're doing the demo, you're, like, ripping out old XYZ, you're hanging new cabinets, like, you were tiling, you're doing that's not necessarily stuff that I do. Now it's a complete shift where for someone, me or you, to go do a job, it's not only the dog, it's family life, and it's the baby, and it's like how does it play into each of our like, it almost for one of us to go out and do a coast to cabin project, it literally is like we're living separate lives because we're not at the place yet where we can both go do something together. So it's like, okay, you go do these things, I'll go do these things, and it's, like, so separate, and that's
we
hard.
can't bring that little gremlin with us, yeah.
Yeah, she'll get into everything.
Where's the dog? She'll be putting nails in her mouth.
Eh, remember I stopped by when you were doing a job with her. Get there, immediate poopy diaper. I go, I forgot the diaper bag somehow, or like I ran out of diapers in my diaper bag. So I was like, I have to go to CVS and get diapers. And I'm literally at a job site, like changing her in the kitchen on the dog's bed. Cause I think you brought the dog with you that day. And then like the person comes home, Noli's like butt naked. I'm like, like thankfully
Oh
it's like
my
a
gosh.
friend, but it's just a little too crazy. But it's also us figuring out and navigating what this looks like in this season. I do think pre having a kid, we were already getting better at being pretty realistic of what was in like what was doable for us with our business, with the nature of your job, like your real job and etc. And I just feel like we're still in the refinement process.
Very slow refinement process.
And it is because this season is extremely slow, but we're also at an like a one by one kind of stage where like every project we look at individually, is this worth investing our time in? Is this something we can do? And so on and so on. Like we are not
Can
taking
we
on
even
big
provide
stuff right
value
now.
during this?
Huh?
Can we even provide value during this?
Well, because the reality is any extra job for you right now takes you away from your family, period. Because you're already away from your family double for work.
But it's hard to say no because I love doing projects.
Well, that ties into how has becoming parents changed the way we dream, plan, or approach work together. I feel like since becoming parents, it's completely changed the way we like dream and plan because things do things still feel really real when we dream about certain goals, but they do feel weirdly further away because I even said to you today when we were making the bed, I'm like, Magnolia is going to be one soon. And I like look around our room and we did this room literally the day before I gave birth and it's still bare. Like I never got to the next stages of what I wanted to
It's
do in
not
our
bare,
room.
it's paint, it's fully finished, it's just not decorated.
Yes, that's what I mean and bare. Like it's that project never that redesign never got fully sent home. We've just been staying afloat
Changing diapers.
like crazy.
I feel like I had to hit the big old pause button on my big far out dreams and reel it back in and start trying to pick smaller little dreams and little wins to sustain myself and keep myself going, but without losing sight of the main like dreams way off in the distance.
Yeah, I don't think we'll ever like, leave those off the table. Like, I still talk with God about them. Like, I was telling you earlier today when I was praying with Magnolia last night, like, it was like talking to a friend. Like, I was like, listen, like, all these dreams are still very much real and there. And, like, it's just hard when it feels like they, it just feels so like that's what you're supposed to be doing. And you literally feel blind because you don't know how to get there because you're like, I'm just taking care of this baby. I'm just existing. And like, I know for you too, it's like you're just working and working and working and working
And
and
I'm
working.
trying to do little projects when I'm not at work to feel something in my life again. Like I didn't just lose it all.
Hmm. That was like when I did the project for the salon and I was just felt so on fire for like this part of myself that I haven't been able to plug into. Like you've gotten this more than me since this has started because of just the way that we've structured our family life and things like that. And then finishing it was like, okay, like there's like, you know, it was different because it's like I have to ask my brother to come over and babysit because you're working. And I had to literally like we get Magnolia down and then I go and I'm working late into the night. And it's just it looks different in this season. But then it's like I'm like riding this excitement of like it's finally done. It's over. Like I'm so happy I got it done. And then it's like I have 2 days back to back of like hard days with Magnolia. And I'm like, this makes you crazy. But I think
And you still have that yearning in the back of your head to get back and continue doing those things that bring you joy, but it feels further and further away.
it's just finding your new normal. And like I have to remind myself, like, so many people, even, like, similar, husbands and wives who have businesses and stuff together doing construction and design, they have, like, 2, 3, 2 kids, 3 kids, 4 kids, etcetera. I'm like, people figure it out. Like, you figure out how to do it. It's just still all very new for us, but I know we'll figure it out because it's such a core part of who we are. It brings us so much joy, and it's part of our giftings, and, like, it's like a crime to not do it.
I agree.
What have we learned about teamwork, not just as business partners, but as husband and wife, that's made the biggest difference in how we handle busy or stressful situations?
I think it's even more than we learned now for like new things, it's learning what we used to do and how much teamwork we had before we had her. Things that like we don't get to do now where we wake up in the morning and I know you have a ton of stuff going on and I'm going to run off to work, but I'm going to take her and the dog and I'm going to go on a hike to try and get that out of the way. So it's one less thing that you have to do. But like you were saying earlier today, now all of a sudden you don't get that exercise. You don't get that with me, where everything we did was as a team before we had her. Like you didn't go buy groceries without me. You didn't go do like nothing was done without me. Everything was together as
Well,
was.
that's like way, way back in the day. I think more of like Lowe's and Home Depot runs. Like we used to, when it was just me and you before the dog, if you ever had to run to Home Depot, I came with you. Like
Mhm.
I would pause whatever I was working on because it's always an opportunity to like have time together. And even like going on hikes together as a family. For me, yes, there's the added bonus of like you're walking, you're getting heart health, you're exercising. But for me, it's like a chance for us to talk and connect. And it's like really hard this season to, like, divide and conquer because I think it's sacrificing a lot more. Sometimes it is literally the right thing to do. Like, for example, if we're going to church or something in the morning, the Sunday that you worked overnight the night before on Saturday, you literally came home, took the baby, took the dog after working completely you just worked 16 hours, worked overnight, hiked them so I could get ready and not have to worry about Magnolia, and, like, came home, went to bed, I finished getting her stuff ready, I go to church, like, we work as a team and we work as a team well, and we have great communication and dialogue. It just it's still challenging in a lot of different ways, but we're figuring it out.
Mhm.
It's not forever.
It's just for right now.
It's gonna get better, and it's still gonna be, like it's gonna always be teamwork,
And
but
when
it's
you got
still
home, you packed all my stuff, you got everything ready so that when I woke up, I could literally jump in the shower, throw my clothes on, and run out the door
I'm
with
sorry for,
everything
like,
ready.
2 minutes that day, that was so sad.
So we weren't together, but we were working as a team.
So I think the biggest thing that we've learned about teamwork is that we've
Makes
had
the
to
dream work.
we've had to transition into, like, divide and conquer,
Mhm.
and that was really hard for us because we really just like doing stuff together.
It's especially hard for you because you just love quality time.
But really, it was, like, crazy. Always going to Home Depot together, always going to Lowe's together because we don't live close to anywhere anyways, and I literally remember if you needed to go to Lowe's for something, if Home Depot didn't have it, Home Depot is closer. Lowe's is, like, 30 minutes one way, then an hour in the store, then
Have to stop at
and I'd
Chick-fil-A
be
'cause
like,
we're already out
it's
there.
like 2 hours. It's like a total wrench in your day.
Miss those trips a little bit, just me and you.
I can't even let myself think about how much I miss what my old life is because then I start to get a little depresso. I love Noli, but, like, then when I realized, like, how much my life first changed with when we got a dog, I was just not prepared for that, and I can't even think about it because I love our dog, but it brings me to a dark place where I'm like, "I ruined my life." It's such a good life. I
Life has just changed.
No, even I think about what my life would be like if it was just me and Noli hanging out over here and daddy went to work. Oh my God, I would be having a completely different experience.
His dog
I
loves
wouldn't be hiking in the pouring rain with an infant. I wouldn't be hiking in the snow with an infant. I wouldn't be wiping my dog's butt with baby wipes.
you,
I wouldn't be stripping my couch cushions of poop that my dog smeared on the couch that he had on his leg.
and you wouldn't be fit and healthy and active.
I wouldn't be cooking him roasts, like,
Alright, you're going into a dark place. It's
yes, I
time to stop.
okay, yeah. If we could give one piece of advice to other couples trying to build together, what would it be? Don't get a
Get a
dog.
dog.
Don't get a dog.
Get a dog, it's good practice for a baby.
No, well, okay, but see, I feel like this is
The dog's actually harder than the baby,
it was.
especially because he keeps ending up in the hospital.
Okay, so if we could give one piece of advice to couples who wanna build together, I think even bringing it back to the dog is a fair place to start because the breed of dog we got, I had no idea about, you did, but it was a completely different animal, like, and that affected a job that we did with Costa Cabin where there was so much guilt of him being a puppy and leaving him at home for full days that we were taking 2 cars to job sites every single day. I'm leaving to go home, check on the dog. I'm coming later because 'cause I'm walking the dog. Like, it very quickly changed what our normal was, and I think I didn't have the ability to foresee that, and I think if I could, like, I just would not have been interested
On
because that's
board.
a very permanent change. Yeah, and you don't mind and didn't mind, and that's why you wanted to move through it, but also regarding, like, our business, so much of the jobs that we do or have done, it's, like, heavy, heavy you.
Mm,
It's like you're the laborer, you're, like, the contract, you're doing the work, I'm helping with design, and I can come and help do some of the work, but I'm not leading the work like you are, so, like, maybe we should have gotten a cat.
I hate cats, and I'm allergic to cats, they make my eyes itchy.
You think you hate cats.
I hate cats.
Okay, if we could go back in time.
It's just going to a dark place.
No, it's not. If we could go back in time,
And never meet each other?
no. That's going to dark, but if we could go back in time and not get a dog, like I've said this to you before, I would easily just live my whole life and not have a dog and be totally fine with it, and you would have spent your entire life feeling like
I
you really
I
missed
needed
something.
to have a dog because my whole life, all I ever wanted was a dog, and then I couldn't get one. My dad was allergic. See a bunch.
Just like you're allergic to cats.
Yeah, yeah. My dad was allergic. My mom didn't want one. My mom never had one. My dad had them as a kid, and
Your dad had dogs as a kid, but he was also allergic to them?
that's what I'm saying. I don't trust him. You're watching this. I know I'm onto you. Anyway, and he's never sneezed around Volky ever,
Mhm.
right?
Your
Right?
parents lied through their teeth
They
too, and you
lied to me
believe
my
them.
whole life. No. So I always wanted one, and there's like no getting around me not getting one at some point. And is he crazy? Yeah. Is he a handful? Yeah. Does he make me super upset sometimes? Yeah. But I love him to death, and
I really was, like, thinking about this yesterday, like,
I wanna get up and go give him a hug right now.
Volky to me is last night when we were waiting for you to come home, and I knew he was gonna start barking out of, like, pure excitement because you were on a double. It was a really long day without you. I literally am, like, trying to get him in the basement because I was going to do laundry and put some storage bins away, and I was like, "Alright, like, if I get him in the basement, he's gonna start barking like crazy when Matt gets home, then he won't wake up the baby because 'cause we'll be in the basement." He whatever, you were like, I misjudged your time of coming home, so then we go back upstairs, he's kinda, like, prancing around the house, I'm like, "Oh my gosh, he knows, like, he knows you're gonna be home soon." So we go upstairs to our room, and I'm like, "Oh, let's, like, go look out the window for daddy." And he's looking out the window, and I open the window, and I have my heart my heart I have my hand around him, and he's just looking, and you had backed your truck in, and he's watching, waiting for you to open the door. I'm like, "Well, who's gonna come out of the truck?" Like, "I think it's dad, I think it's dad. I know it's dad, it's dad. Is it dad? It's dad." And I'm feeling just his heart beat faster and faster and faster, and and his tail is wagging, and I literally just had this moment, I'm like, "Dude, this dog loves Matt so much, like, this dog is not for me. This is purely for you." Like, and I don't understand it, I'm never gonna understand it, but he is like, you are his best friend, and I know that you have a love for him Like, I don't understand. Like, I love Volky, but, like, I honestly plead with you. I'm like, "Please, no more dogs." Like, after I want him to live a really long life, but afterwards, I've done my time. And you can have as many dogs as you want in heaven. I do not want any more.
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
And he's supposed to have a long life too, okay? That's why you got this breed of dog. And I'm like,
You'll be okay.
"Damn, I'm trying."
He's 4 years old. He's going strong.
4 down, 12 to go.
He's got a few less feet of intestines in him, but he's hanging in there.
Just communication would be my piece of advice. And that
Even when you don't wanna talk to them because they piss you off so much,
and
you
it's
should just talk.
and it's not one person trying to control the other person or tell the person what they're allowed to do or not. It's you guys are both building together,
Mm.
and it affects both of you. It's no longer just about yourself.
Practice gaslighting, work on your manipulation tactics. Always tell them they're beautiful, just simple stuff like that.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we will
See you next time.
yeah, we'll see Matt in about a month.
Cool.
All right. Bye.
See ya.